Hey folks, welcome back. It's good to be here on the channel again. Hope you've been enjoying my creative guitarist workshop here on YouTube. And today I wanted to do another gear review. It's been a while since I've done one, but I've got a good piece of gear here that I'd like to share with you people and you good folks here on the channel. If you're looking for a mixer, if you're in the market for a mixer, then this might be a good one for you to try. The good folks at Phenyx Pro sent me this one to review. And I've been looking for a mixer anyway, just to be able to get a few more inputs as an audio interface into my audio interface. And that's what I'm doing with this particular mixer right now, as it's going in my audio interface from the mixer, thus allowing me to go from 2 channels to effectively basically 6. And that is because I've recently switched back to my Behringer Euphoria UMC 204 HD audio interface, and I've basically run from the phone's output of the mixer here into the insert of the audio interface, and that still frees up my 2 main channels as inputs. So basically that gives me 4 channels here and another 2 on my audio interface. So that's really cool if you want to add and expand what you already have. We're going to be talking a little bit about the different features of this mixer, if it's right for you, see some of my experiences that I've had with it, and different things like that. So I will be going through some of that, maybe showing some images and maybe sharing my screen with you. I don't know exactly how this will go, but this is unrehearsed and raw, so this will be how it comes out. So this is the professional audio mixer Phenyx Pro PTX-15, and basically this is a 4-channel mixer. And the one thing I really love about it, and it's hard to get these, is you have actual faders here versus little knobs like these right here. Most mixers in this price range, basically in the consumer, music producer market, usually have knobs instead of actual faders. And that's one thing that I'm glad that this mixer has, is it has actual faders. It also has a 5-band EQ equalizer. I think this comes out post fader, if I'm not mistaken. It comes with, I think it's 16. Let me just go ahead and go to the page here. It'll be a lot easier for me to go ahead and read this out. Yeah, 16 DSP effects that you can assign. There's delays and there's reverbs, and I think maybe a little flanger. No, it looks like it's delays and reverbs. Different various ones, ping pong delays, hall reverbs, room reverbs, different things like that. And you also have the ability to have Bluetooth. It's a Bluetooth mixer that enables users to wirelessly stream music from your iPad or your smartphone. Now this does not connect to your computer via Bluetooth. That's the one downside with this, but it is able to read audio from your iPhone, and most likely from your computer as well, to play Bluetooth into this if you wanted to record along with it. These have different recording functions and things like that as well that you can go to, and playback functions as well. And I haven't tried this yet, but what I'm thinking might be good is to be able to have some background music coming from my computer audio into this mixer, going right back out into my audio interface. I'm not sure exactly if that would work or not, but that's one way I thought about capturing audio from the computer. Now it also has some recording out RCA jacks. It also has the aux send and return, as well as an effects send here if you wanted to put any additional effects. You have your gain knobs, you have your EQ knobs, your aux and your effects send, as well as your pan and your balance. We also have 48 volt phantom power up here on the top, and that's what I'm using for this particular microphone, is 48 volt phantom power for this condenser mic. Also, we have solo buttons here, which are not mute buttons. That's one downside to this mixer. It does not have mute buttons, but you can solo and see what kind of gain and what kind of clipping that's happening. I think it's pre-fader, so that way you can kind of dial in your gain staging, so to speak, by using that solo button, depending on what you're wanting to try and test out. But right now I've got the guitar going in the input 1, and it is going from the Helix LT. So I've got the Helix LT coming through to the input 1 here, this microphone going out to input 4 and giving it 48 volt phantom power, and then this whole mixer signal coming out through the insert, which is the phones, into the insert of my audio interface, which is a Behringer Euphoria UMC 204 HD, as I said before. I'm not using the EQ because I can do some post-processing or whatever. Also, the Helix takes care of the EQ on that side. So with this, I've got usually I set the gain as low as it can be for the audio interface for my Helix, and pump the Helix wide up, and then have this at about, I don't know, about -5 dB. And then for the mic, put the gain up, looks like to about 9 o'clock almost, and then do the same thing here. And I can see if I'm clipping or not, because I still have a clip signal to the insert, so we can still be able to make sure not to have to worry about any of that clipping. So let's continue on here. It also has ultra low noise mic preamps. It has gold-plated XLRs and balanced line inputs. Once again, here's the main outs. You can send those to your speakers if you want to. It does have a USB function here, but that is for playing music. If you had a USB stick, USB drive, and you wanted to stick it in there, you could do it and play music on that end into this if you wanted to. But also, according to the customer service when I asked them about it, it does also act as an audio interface for PCs, for Windows. I don't think it does for Macs. I've tried it, but when I tried it, it was enabled with Bluetooth, and I thought that, I had this weird hum. So what happened was I decided to just forget about it and figure out another way to port this into my audio interface, and it works fine. So I'm not worried about trying to get this as an audio interface. It might with a Mac, I don't know, but they told me that it was for PC, you could act as an audio interface. So let's see, what else do we have? There's high quality sound, it's versatile use, extremely high headroom, and it does have quite a bit of headroom. It does have quite a bit of power. I like that. And it has a 12-month manufacturer assurance and supportive customer service, and they were pretty supportive. They answered some of my questions that I had, like I said. And there's a little note here that it cannot be USB and Bluetooth at the same time, so you can't use both of those functions for playing music at the same time. Some pros on this definitely include the fact that it has faders. I love the faders, and they're nice and smooth. They feel pretty good quality. They're definitely plastic, and they're a little wiggly, but they don't feel like they're going to break or anything like that. And we do have some EQ functions here. Like I said, I don't worry about using this post EQ because I can do my vocal EQs up here. I can roll off some of the lows and bump the mids and roll off some of the treble if I need to. So I don't have to worry about this affecting the whole final output of everything, which I think is what this one is designed for. As far as seeing the levels, what you would normally do is you would press the solo button, and that solo button would give you levels. I'm not going to do that now because it may blast your ears out, but that's normally what would happen. This number right here is what effect it is on. So if I was to show you the effect and give you an idea, here's how the effects worked. And this took me a minute to figure it out because there's an actual effects level here, and I could not figure out how to get this to work until I saw that. So what we have then is our effects send, and I have it kind of up here. So if I take this and give myself some effects here on my vocals, then I go ahead and bring the vocals up here, give myself a little bit of effects here. Check 1 2, check 1 2. I can change the effect. So that's and what I would have to do is press the button, and it would enable that. Check 1 2. So I'll put that back down on 4, give me a little bit of reverb, and I can pull this off or give it as much as I want. Check 1 2. So that's a pretty cool thing now that you can do, is you can have your effects sending in that way. So I choose to leave those off because I can add those later if I want to. But it's cool that you do have that ability to have those effects on board without having to use additional effects at the end of the chain. So it's pretty much plug and play. It's very ready to use out of the box. Comes with a decent manual. I do recommend reading over the manual for all the different various functions and different things like that. That was one of the tips that I definitely wanted to say was the effects. Don't forget to pull your effects level up whenever you want to hear effects, because it took me a while to figure that out. But I'm glad that I finally did, so that I could use the effects if I decide to later on if I needed to. This is not very heavy. It's ultra portable, and it's got its own power supply. It's got everything pretty much that you need, but it's not an audio interface for a Mac. For me, for what it does and for what I use it for, basically I've got it plugged in to a surge protector or a power strip that is also plugged into my monitor. So I can turn that on, leave the power on, and when I turn that on, it turns on my monitors. And by monitors, I mean studio monitors, speakers. It turns on my monitors and this at the same time, so that I don't have to keep constantly flipping things on and off. It just, one switch does that, and everything's ready to go. And I turn the phantom power off when I'm not using it. I don't think it hurts anything to leave it on, but I go ahead and turn it off personally, so I don't have to worry about it blowing up anything or whatever, just in case. But for me, I would definitely take this out and use it live if I needed to, like on a live gig or church service or whatever. And like I said, it's very light. It's not very heavy at all. And I just leave it here now on my desk, and like I said, I can use it and it goes straight to my audio interface. Don't have to worry about anything. I get a good signal from my Helix, and it comes in just fine, or anything else that I would need to do comes in just fine. So in my opinion, I would rate this probably a 4 stars out of 5, because of the fact that it's not an audio interface for me. For a Mac, it would be great if this was, that way I wouldn't have to use another one. But at the same time, like I said, I think this affords me 6 inputs, because I've got 4 here, and then if I go in the insert of my audio interface, this particular one, then I still have my 2 inputs in the front of the unit, which hopefully I think would still work as inputs. I haven't tried it yet, but I think that would still work. And the cool thing is I can plug other instruments up to this if I want to. I can put in a 1/4-inch cable. This is 1/4-inch and XLR in one. Previous versions didn't have that. I can plug in a 1/4-inch, let's just say a keyboard, external keyboard, if I wanted to do that. I can plug in a bass. I can plug my bass directly into this if I didn't want to use my Helix, which I use my Helix for my bass too. Anything like that you can think of, or external effects. You have your effects in here. You can plug those in. You can plug your whole pedal board in and route it to this, and you have your effects and all that different stuff that you have. All the links will be below to this particular mixer. Please check out those links below. And for me, it sounds great. I love being able to use this thing. Phenyx Pro also sent me, and I don't think I've reviewed these because I did a different one. I may have reviewed them on Amazon, but I don't think I've done it on YouTube. They also sent me some wireless guitar jacks, and they work just fine. I use them quite a bit upstairs just to practice with. I use those quite a bit. Definitely check out the PTX-15 4-channel mixer, audio mixer. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with what it can do. For me, the effects are, as far as a con, the effects aren't, completely the best effects out there. But that's not a big deal when people are using plugins nowadays, when guitarists have their own effects, pedals, and things like that. So it's not like it's a big deal. But on the fly, if you don't have anything, you need a little reverb, you need a little delay, it has that if you need it. So that's really cool that it does. So yeah, that's my take on that. Do check out the links below. I hope you get a lot of enjoyment out of this mixer. It's good to have another gear review out there for you people, and I hope you continue to enjoy the content that I have here on this channel. Alright, thanks so much for watching. God bless, and as always, keep creating.